Hey guys, this is BerserkChip and welcome to part 2 of the Gundam Battle Assault 2 basic guide for Gundam Heavyarms. If you haven't seen part 1, please do so. I'll leave a link in the description so it'll be easier to find. Part 1 we went over the move list of Heavyarms and some combos and stuff and basic strategy. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into how to play Heavyarms. Heavyarms, a little bit more straightforward than Wing Gundam Zero Custom. He's got a lot of tools, most of which are long range, so he's not really a close range character, but you can, as I showed you, go in close range if you want to, and sometimes it is a good idea to do so if your opponent is a little bit too comfortable being far away and just blocking everything you got. Heavyarms is considered pretty top tier in the game, and a big reason is because of his homing missiles. Very similar to Buster Rifle for Wing Gundam. It's got a lot of tracking and it does a lot of damage, but it's a lot slower than the Buster Rifle. So if you know how I said that you can't just win by spamming Buster Rifle all the time against somebody who's good. You especially can't do that with homing missiles. They do a lot of damage to the point where doing 2 of them is basically a bar, but they're slow and you can just jump right over them, and then you got a little bit of post lag going on. So if that happens, you're screwed. The key, I think, with Heavyarms is to start off with, don't always do this, but I would say start off by doing a really quick jump, hitting down square, and then as you land, hit down square again. And what that'll do is that'll shoot 5 missiles that'll arc upward and then come down and explode. Follow that by a chest gatling, and that's a nice little just barrage assault. Mid and long range, and just lather, rinsing, and repeating that is a good way to just keep your opponent away from you. And then you can mix some homing missiles and some Gatling shots in there. If you hit with homing missiles, I would say always follow it up with the Gatling, because it just does so much damage that it's just awesome. His super isn't quite as useful as some of the other supers in the game. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it basically fills the entire screen with missiles. So if you're trying to keep somebody away, it's a good option, and it's a pretty good combo ender, depending on what you're doing and how much damage you've done so far. His close range attacks are basically his kicks. They do a lot of damage, and most of them knock you up or down, but they're very useful for getting in close and just like once you get in with those kicks, usually it's followed with either Gatling or missiles or whatever, and it will do a lot of damage if you can get in close. So if you think the damage is good with him from long range, if you get in close, it's crazy the amount of damage that you can do. So he's not quite as versatile as Wing Zero, so getting in close isn't always the best option, because he doesn't have quite as many options, but the options that he does have are very good. And stuff like the missiles and the Gatling guns are good, just as good close range, and they push you back, which is the best position to be in for heavy. And that's basically it. He's not a really complex character, as you can clearly see. He's got a lot of tools, most of which are long range, and that's basically the key. Just being long range and just barraging them, but not with the same move over and over again. Always mix it up and just make sure that your opponent, just keep him guessing. So that's it. Next time I'm going to do Tulgi's 3.